Welcome to Lesson 7, Constructing Rectangular Prisms with a Given Volume. Let's quickly review. In order to calculate the volume of a rectangular prism, such as this one, we need to find the dimensions of the length, width, and the height. We see that the length here is 2 centimeters, the width is 2 centimeters, and the height is also 2 centimeters. So if we apply our formula, volume equals length times width times height, we get 2 times 2 times 2, which equals 8 cubic centimeters. So the volume of this rectangular prism is 8 cubic centimeters, and if you were to go through and count, even though you can't see them all, you would see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 in the top layer and another layer below, and 4 plus 4 makes 8. So in this lesson you're going to be given a certain volume and you're going to be asked to create all the rectangular prisms you possibly can with that volume. So let's start with an example. So if I was given the volume of 18 cubic centimeters and asked to create all the rectangular prisms I can, one strategy I can use is by trying to list multiplications with 3 numbers. Remember, I multiply 3 dimensions, length, width, and height to get volume. That will create 18. So let's see what we can create. The simplest one would be 1 times 1 times 18. I'm trying to go in order here. I could also create one that's 1 times 2 times 9. I could also create one that's 1 by 3 by 6. And finally I can create one more that's 2 by 3 by 3. So these are the 4 different rectangles I could create, or rectangular prisms that I can create that have a volume of 18 cubic centimeters. So now that I have the dimensions, the length, width, and height of each one, I can go ahead and draw or build these using cubic centimeters. So that's one strategy that you can use. Let's look at another possible strategy. Another strategy is to simply take 18 cubic centimeter blocks and start playing around with them and building different rectangular prisms. As long as you remember, a rectangular prism has 6 faces or sides, and there can't be any extra blocks sticking out anywhere, then you will be fine using this strategy. So let's start by putting some of our blocks together and see what we come up with. So here's one rectangular prism we can make. It's got a length of 18, a width of 1, and a height of 1. Here's another one. This one is our 1 by 2 by 9 block. So we have a length of 9, we have a width of 2 and a height of 1. This rectangular prism has a length of 6, a width of 3, and a height of 1. And finally our block that has a length of 3, a width of 3, and a height of 2. So these are the only 4 rectangular prisms you can make with a volume of 18 cubic centimeters. You can play around with the blocks some more, but you won't be able to make any others. You can go ahead and try to prove me wrong. One thing to keep in mind is that both of these rectangular prisms are the same. Even though they're sitting in a different orientation on the table, they both have a length of 6 and a width of 3 and a height of 1. It doesn't matter how you rearrange those numbers, whether you multiply 6 times 3 times 1 or 3 times 6 times 1 or 1 times 3 times 6, it all equals to 18. So it's important to note that these two are the same examples. So you might sometimes think you've created a new one, but really what you've done is taken a rectangular prism that already existed and you've just turned it a different way. So if the three numbers, the three dimensions, length, width, and height are the same, then it's the same rectangular prism. So in this lesson, we were constructing rectangular prisms with a given volume. So in our example, we had 18 cubic centimeters to work with, and we were asked to create as many different rectangular prisms as possible. In our first strategy, we used numbers, and we tried to create as many different multiplications with three numbers because of our formula. That created 18, and we came up with 4 different ones. In our second strategy, we actually took 18 cubic centimeter blocks, and we started to build different rectangular prisms. And again, we came up with the same 4. So these are 2 different strategies that you can use when you're asked to construct rectangular prisms when you are given a specific volume. So watch the video again, ask your teacher for help, and have fun constructing rectangular prisms.